Go, hold on a second. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your homeboy E Short, hanging out in his man room as usual with my homeboy Les Miller. It's the E and L Sports Talk Show. What's up, Les?
Yo, E, everything is good in the neighborhood, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm glad I'm not in that neighborhood. Hey, man, we have a longtime friend, man, of Brooklyn, and a great ball player in his own right back in the day. Haven't seen the brother in quite some time, man, but he's a good brother. And I just wanted to make sure we get him on the show and let him tell his story. So without further ado, I want to introduce Maurice Tiny Lassen. What's going on, bro?
Everything is well, Eric. Everything is well. What's going on, Les? How you doing?
I'm doing great, baby. I'm looking forward to seeing and talking to you today, man. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Long
So
time.
tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man. Tell them about what Tiny's all about, man.
Well, Tiny's doing his own thing. I got my own buses. I run my bus company. Uh, Recently, I'm getting ready to have surgery on Monday for my thyroid, which will be successful. So I'm not worried about that. God kept me here for a reason,
That's
and I
right. You know
appreciate y'all
that.
brothers. I
Yep.
appreciate y'all brothers, man. All the brothers I grew up with. I can go back. People always tell me, how you know everybody's last name? First and last name. I said, these are brothers I was around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now give
going
everybody a
forward,
taste of what that history was like for you, man, starting back in the day.
oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy. At the age of 13, I started running Fort Greene Park, where I grew up at in Fort Greene Projects. And I looked at one of those films, basketball films back in the days with Jamal Wilkes and all them brothers, and I knew what it was gonna take for me to be a short guard. I had to put that work in. So I started running the park, up and down the hills, up and down the steps with my basketball. And it started from there.
I hear
And
you.
then I applied myself to go to different schools, and I played with Brooklyn USA for so many years that when it came time to go to high school, I didn't want to play in Hamilton. I wanted to play against my mirror, which was Brooklyn USA. All those guys went to Hamilton.
Right.
And I chose Lafayette. And it opened up a different world for me because I wasn't around the guys I grew up with playing on the same team,
Mhm.
Mhm.
meeting new guys and playing,
Right.
knowing I'm going to meet these guys because we always made a bet amongst ourselves that we would play against each other in high school. Keith Haddock, Ricky Wilson, Alonzo Colbert, Shabazz, Nathaniel Pass, all those guys. So we all went to different schools, man, and it was real fun in the beginning,
Mhm.
for me. So
Yeah,
I went
what
to try
years
out
what years were you at Lafayette?
1975 to 79.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in 75, I tried out for the JV team.
Mhm.
And I think I threw a pass around my back to somebody. And Gil Firschman, the coach of Lafayette, told me after the practice was over, the tryouts, come up to varsity,
Mhm.
practice. And it started there,
Wow. Nice. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So in 75, I was the only freshman that played high school basketball for Lafayette. First time they said ever done. So I
Mhm.
just took that with a little honor. I didn't get big headed. And I went in there and had to go against Earl Nesbitt, Whitney Fuller, Ron Chisholm, Bob Bishop, and Stretch.
Every day.
That's not a game.
Every day,
Every
right?
day,
Yeah.
every day.
Wow. Nice. Mhm.
And during the freshman season, I started playing pretty well. I was kind of quick I was quick with the ball, and coach started giving me a little playing time as the season was coming up. And a lot of guys that were sitting on the bench, they get a little antsy because they was sophomores, juniors, and a couple of seniors, but I fit the bill at that time. So I got playing time as a freshman.
That's what counts, man. That's what counts. And when you're out there proving yourself, it's okay that you're gonna have naysayers and people knocking you, but you got to do you. You
For
know.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
And
how did all of that work out?
That worked out very well. My sophomore year, I played, you know, certain games where they needed a guard to open the floor up. A
Mm,
lot of guys, I don't want to get cocky and say my passing ability was better than a lot of people, but my decision making was sharp,
okay.
and I was able to defend players. Like they put the ball on the floor, I jar at them, they shift, I'm laying the ball up, the referees are still running down the court the other way.
Mm, I got
You
you.
know, so in my junior year, things turned out pretty well, but my senior year was an explosion. They
Mm,
changed coaches. Freshman, Joe Freshman, he took himself out of coaching, and we had a new coach come in my senior year, and which was Mr. Uh, Keisner. And he told me, he said, Tiny, you're gonna play, but you're not gonna start.
cool.
And in my head, I lost it. How you gonna have me? I played 4 years here. I paid my dues. My senior year should have been my breakout year. And he said his son is gonna start over me, which we was good friends, me and Rob Curtin. So it wasn't no hard feelings. I just transferred, and I
Mm,
transferred down to Laurinburg with Gil.
Oh,
oh,
you went with Gil,
Yes,
okay.
North
sir.
Carolina. There
Yes,
you
sir.
go. Uh-huh.
And then that opened up a lot of, how can I put it? That opened up a lot of opportunities for me. We had
Mm,
3-a-day practices, which I never encountered with Gil
mm,
till we got down there. And that's where the work, my mind clicked into being a floor general. I wasn't a point guard no more. I was a floor general.
mm,
Because our first assignment down there was he wanted to get us in a place where we knew the floor that we was playing on. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
every dimension of that court.
mm,
He wanted to know how many dribbles it take to take a layup from the foul line, from the wings. How far is the hash mark? How
mm,
long is the court? What's the width of the court? So we was wizards with
Mm-hmm.
that team that I played with in 1979. Had
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester Charles that played at North Carolina State. He was my center. And Dexter Nichols, Lloyd Brown, they came from New York. I think Dexter played at Lincoln and Lloyd Brown played at Grady, one of the two.
mm,
And just to have them with coming from New York made it real easy for me, Les and
mm,
Eric. It made
mm.
it very, very easy because they knew the concept of the game.
Right.
Right.
Well, what was that
Sylvester Charles,
experience? What was that experience for you like going and playing with Gil and the transition from New York, playing in Lafayette? What was it like playing for the legendary Gil Reynolds and trying to meet his expectations?
unbelievable, unbelievable, E and Les. Unbelievable. He told me the school has a policy of, I think it was like $12,000 to play down there for your room board and all the other stuff that came with it.
Mm.
He told me if I play a good game, my first game, they'll change their mind. And my first game, I had 39 points coming
Oh,
off the
oh,
bus,
oh, shit. That's what I'm
off
talking
the
about.
bus. And I
Yeah.
wasn't a scorer in New York. I was
Yeah.
a passer. I would set everybody else up, but a lot
Right.
of people didn't understand that I can score.
Right.
So down there, he let me loose, and it was all over after that first game.
Wow. That's a good story. I like that.
And it told me something internally to
Mm,
myself. It sat and it started resonating. You can play this game, man.
mm,
Right.
You
That's
know,
right.
doesn't matter how small you are.
mm,
So he started giving me techniques when guys was laying the ball up. You don't jump and try to block it with your right hand. You go up there left-handed. That way, their body goes underneath you.
mm, mm, mm.
And I was snatching so many guys' layups off the backboard and running down the court by myself that the referees used to tell me, "Can you slow down?" So it was a lot of pressure, man. And he eased that tension in me. He gave me that push to say, I believe in you.
Right.
Go to work. And that's what I did when I got on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work. It was different. I didn't have to wait set of play. If I could beat the man, go by him.
Just do it. That's it, right?
You know,
Yeah,
go by him, put that ball in the basket.
yeah,
But I
and
couldn't
that's
shoot a
one of
jump
the
shot
things.
for him.
Yeah, and
I
that's
couldn't
one of
shoot
the
jump
things.
shots.
And that's one of the things that Gil would, try to get people to understand is once again, is being efficient with the ball. You take care of the ball and you be efficient with it. Don't do stupid things with it. And was the culture in
Exactly.
North
Get
Carolina
yourself hung up.
equal to that? What was the
It
culture
was
in North Carolina equal to that?
well, it was becoming to be equal, but we practiced 3 times a day, as I said in the beginning. We had 3 a day
Mm.
practices. We practiced in the morning at 5 o'clock. We practiced at 12 after we ate lunch. And then in the evenings we played the freshman college team, which consisted of Tony Thomas, Mike Francis, Duff, all those guys, the Michigan twins that we had that was down there. So it was nothing to play with. It was one player on that team named X Man. We called him X Man. He never missed. So one day I had to guard him, and Gil said, "You got to be able to close out. But if you quick enough, slap the ball out his hand. Don't slap it down. Slap it up." And that was it.
Mm.
And we battled every night. We had no time to take off. We had no time to hang out because our dorm rooms was actually 20 feet away from the gym.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
So that's what we did. We lived, died, and ate basketball
yeah,
Right.
down there.
yeah. I want to go.
And it
I
was
want to go
just
back. I want to go back to the slapping it up. A lot of people don't understand that when you're coming up like this, right?
right.
Yeah,
Correct,
that's
Eric.
right.
He said never
And
slap it down because the referees will call a foul.
yeah,
Right.
So
and,
always slap the ball up.
yeah, that's right. And
He
then
gave
plus
us
and
pointers.
plus the offensive player doesn't see you coming in there like that. Plus you keep your balance. You
Exactly.
know, yeah, that's right. You know, I mean, so
And one of
how did that experience? What happened? Once that experience was done, what did you what did you do, and how where did it take you thereafter?
well, I signed a letter of intent to play at North Carolina because Dean Smith used to come to all the games because we were
Mm.
so close to North Carolina. And I always knew he liked small guards. But somewhere along the line, when I came home, paper got mixed up. Everything got tangled. I wound up going out to Colorado. After
Mm.
that didn't go through, and I played at the junior college first, Lamar, where Gil coached at one
Mm-hmm.
point.
Okay.
And it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. So we down there, people are hearing about how well I play, and things were going pretty decent. But the town was all white people.
Mm.
I don't discriminate, but I never recognized when I first got to Laurinburg that these white people still had prejudice sitting in
Mm.
them. And when we played the bigger schools, they would call us all types of niggas and things like that in Laurinburg. So going out to the Midwest I was already transitioning to anything that you had to deal with because there was only 12 of us, 12 blacks on the team.
Right. Right.
So we had to go into the Knights of Columbus to be introduced to the whole town at Lamar, Colorado.
Wow.
And that took something out of me. Like, we got to really be a good team to be out here because there's only 12 of us. So anytime that one of us went in the store, if something was missing, they came to the dormitories
Right.
thinking that we took stuff from them,
Yeah. Sorry
you
for
know.
laughing, but that's
But
a
it's
damn
real.
shame. Yeah, that's a
It's
damn shame.
real. And the speed limit was 30 miles an hour. I run faster than the cars.
Yeah. Right.
I'm talking about these cars are doing 30 miles an hour. I'm flying by them because when we first got to Lamar, you couldn't breathe. The altitude was too high.
Right.
And we
Right.
coming from the city, we don't know nothing about the altitude like that.
Mm.
So couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe when I first got down there,
Mm.
and we ran 5 miles for the first week.
Yeah, they make you
And
run.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, and that started adjusting my breathing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Coming out of the
because
city,
that
you
air
got
is thin. Because
smog,
the air is thin up there.
very thin. I
Yeah.
used to think I could touch the stars, man. Jump when I come out the my dorm room. I used to think I could jump and touch the stars, Eric. That's how close they look. Like you could just
Yeah.
grab one out the damn sky. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
But it
man.
was a very, very enjoyable experience for me. Very. There couldn't be no other place that if I had to go back, I would go back out to Colorado.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
That
You
that's
know,
unbelievable that you're saying that, Tiny, because everybody that I talked to that went JUCO route, um, everybody had a really good experience, man.
yeah,
I mean, it's like, I mean, there's a couple of things here and there, that's messed up, but when it came to the ball aspect, things usually work out pretty well because they're a little bit more receiving of the player. You know what I mean? Like when you go down there
sure.
smaller, like the competition level is of a college level, but they more receive the players in there, and you plus you're going in there for a quick hit for something better to happen afterwards.
Exactly.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
and I don't know anyone that had like really like basketball related bad experiences in JUCO, man. So
No, I
I'm
didn't have.
sorry to cut, to throw that in there, but go ahead. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay, E. It's all right, man. You know you my brother
There
for a
you go.
long man. We've been together so long, man, and been around each other. I remember when I was little coming into LIU, coming to watch y'all practice, and Lizzo used to put me on the floor
Yeah.
and let me run with y'all. And I'm like, I was
I,
still in high school. I'm saying, well,
yeah,
he
that
said,
Wow.
happened a
play the
lot. That
game.
happened a lot.
Yes. So, I we go way back, man. And it's like it's crazy. I watch you play with Riverside. I watch you play with Gil. So it's like it's all it meshes together.
Yeah.
It's just what you want. You got to go get it. You ain't nobody gonna give it to you.
Hmm.
And a lot of guys, used to talk a lot, like you say, we used to jaw with each other, but they knew when it's time to put that ball on the floor, they had to come and play against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wasn't gonna get it easy,
Yeah.
and I never made it
And
easy
that
for nobody.
teaching, man, it's like it's embedded in you, man. You become,
Sure,
a true competitor no matter who you standing in front of. You got to do what you do.
that's right.
And so after Lamar, what transpired?
I went into Colorado with Chauncey, and everybody was talking about who's the man and who's this and who's that. We played, but I never realized that they never put my name in the books.
Mm.
I didn't find this out until after Final Four, Final Eight rather. We lost to North Carolina. We should have never lost to them. And when I found out, I was already back in New York because Pops got sick, and I transferred to John Jay College,
Mm.
Criminal Law and Justice. And when I got there, that's when I started realizing when paperwork was coming in, it was coming in with somebody else's name, but my social security was on it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a minute. They use people. That's when I realized basketball has its own quirks and they
Wow.
picks. They use you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just to get what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's okay. So moving forward, I get in John Jay. They didn't want to take my credits.
Mm.
I had to sit there, go through this assessment period with all the deans and the top people,
Mm.
president of the school, when they realized my name was never used. So I had 3 years of eligibility left,
Wow.
but I
Get
only
out.
had 2 years of school.
Right.
I
Mhm.
only had 2 years to graduate. So wait a minute, I'm not sitting up in here for no 3 years.
Mm.
You didn't want to accept my credits at first. They told me I was 11 shy of going into my sophomore year. Impossible. I got 2 years. They was trying to push that back. My credit, take 11 credits back so I could stay for the 3 years.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's an educator back then, before she passed 8 years ago.
Mm.
And she looked at the transcripts and saw what was going on. She was like, no, baby, you only got 2 years left. And that was it. So I played 84, 85, 86, 87, and I was gone.
Wow.
Mm.
But we went undefeated 86, 87.
Wow.
84, 85, 85, 86, we went undefeated. I
Mm-hmm.
played with Courtney Calendar, Curtis White, uh, Derek Tinsley, God bless the dead. Pookie Wilson was supposed
Pookie.
to play.
Okay.
Yeah, we was
Mm-hmm.
all there.
You played
See,
with
when I
Courtney
first,
though. You played with Courtney. Courtney's a good guy, man.
yes, Courtney, I gave Courtney the ball for 1,000 points. And he just laughed at me. He said, "Yo, you stupid, man. You had a layup. You gave me the ball." I said, "That's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you got to get that. You
Yeah.
deserve it."
Get it
Nice.
out of the way,
I
right?
was at the layup. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about I was getting ready to lay the ball up and I just pitched the ball back to him. I could
Nice.
have made the shot, but
Right.
he deserved that.
That's
And I
right.
Yeah.
was aware as their captain,
Mm-hmm.
I was aware of who needed what at certain times. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the job of
Oh,
a point guard.
that's what a leader does, man. That's
Yes,
what a
sir.
leader does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you ain't
So I
picked that
didn't.
up off the ground, man. That was like all of these years, man, of being around, and once again, the efficiency thinking and playing with competitive people daily, weekly, in tournaments during the summer, all of those things mold you into kind of understanding the game other than just making baskets and playing D. There's other things that happen,
Exactly.
and respect for your teammate to look out for them in a situation like that. And like you said, there's some things are bigger than just me scoring the basket myself.
Exactly.
And
You know,
and he would probably be real appreciative of that, man.
that's my brother
Knowing that
for
he's
life.
playing
Like
with
y'all my
people like that,
brothers.
huh?
I said, that's my brother. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
my brothers. I know what you need and I know what you don't need at certain points, but I know where your certain spots are where you like the ball. See, that's taking homage into dealing with what brothers on the floor can do.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give the ball at the half court and you got to dribble it to get to where you want to be to shoot it. Get
Right.
where you want to be. I'm gonna bring the ball to you. You're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah, they say
I
what's
was
that?
very unselfish.
KYP, know your personnel, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
you
now
put
when
in
I
the
look
work.
at yes, Eric, playing with y'all was the putting in work. You know, it wasn't always down in the box. Sometimes y'all was sitting on that wing.
Yeah,
Other
yeah,
brothers go down the lane. They don't see you on the wing. I got you, E. Next
Mm-hmm.
play. See, because this is how guys, they don't think the game. It's all about wanting to be that superstar.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
teams win, everybody rock together.
yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
And
that's true.
that's what gave me an extra gift. That's why I kind of tough
Mm,
on letting guards play me. It
Mm-hmm.
right,
wasn't about me. I know what I can do with the ball. Y'all just get out the way.
right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring it to you.
right. Well, what
So a
would it
lot of
think?
guys used to
But
fear
what
me.
would it think? What were the things that kind of like during, I mean, if you had to look, looking back, like all of those years, what was like the inspiring forces that were around, or whether they be people or environments or tournaments? What were the things that continually inspired you to continue to play this game, to reach for, this level of success that, we're talking about here?
Well, I had Albert King and Bernard live in the next building from me in Fort Greene.
That
Oh yeah,
says it
that
all.
helps.
That
So
That
says it
helps.
all.
that's it right there. The monsters, when they come outside, we on the court.
Yeah,
We are
that
not
says it
leaving the
all.
basketball court.
Yeah.
And they live right in the next building, so when they was outside, because you hear the people screaming because the
Mm-hmm.
games are so good out there.
Yeah, man.
And
I
they
can
made us
imagine.
play.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there were
And
and there were a
come
whole bunch of guys over there as well, weren't there?
Julio Vasquez, you had Ricky May, you had Gus Washington, you had Ernie Douse,
Right.
you had the Pendarvis twins. Come on, man. I mean, this is like basketball 101. You had a brother by the name of Terrence. I mean, come on, superstar, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But he went down another path. But on that ball floor, dangerous.
Yeah.
That Black Bird that came out of Fort Greene, you know. But Julio Vasquez and Albert King played everywhere together.
Hmm.
I
Right.
believe, Eric, you got a chance to play with them.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, man. I played
You
with
see
the
what I'm saying?
Jaguars.
So,
Yeah.
man, when I tell you dangerous, that two duo playing with Mr. Lloyd with you, Eric,
Mm-hmm.
was y'all was dangerous that year. Because y'all won a whole lot of stuff around the country. I remember because I followed.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny how like all of those guys, and it's funny. I saw a video of Albert, like maybe like 20 seconds. Person was asking him some questions. And he's talking about all the people in the park, in the projects that were good ball players. When you come out here and play, you got to win, because if you don't win, you're not getting back on the court.
You'll
You
never
know,
see the court
Right.
again.
yeah, and it's funny because if you're playing in an area where ain't no ballers, you ain't have that problem. But if you're
Right.
playing in a place like Fort Greene, where everybody every building's got ball players in it, you just
Everybody.
imagine what it's like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not going to see the floor again unless you would not see it. You have to go to
But,
another
but
park to play somewhere.
I'm gonna tell you something though, man. You know what used to happen? If me and Eve's on the court playing, man, the guy who had next would only pick 3 players
That's
just in
right.
case we lost.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Because as the game is being played, you're like, yo, man, who got next? Yo,
Yeah.
man, put me in, just in case, because you could
Right.
sense maybe you're gonna lose, but playing around players that are just nice, they game recognizes game, so
Mhm.
you do get back on the court, man, and you're continually finding ways to. So that's not just you playing and your skills being nice, but you have negotiating skills,
That's
so
right.
you're up here, selling yourself to the guy that's got next,
That's
you know,
right.
Right.
and it's like, yo, man, put me in, coach.
That's right. Because that's the way the game was played, man, back then. You know what I look at now with the youth? It's hard for me because I coach girls with my partner Gary Thomas,
Yeah,
and
where you coach?
we play at the team is basically out of Queens. We got
Mm-hmm.
some Brooklyn players.
Mm-hmm.
GT All Stars is the name of the team, and
Mm,
the girls. I stop with the guys because I see a kid come down the floor. Les, mother and father sitting in the park. He shoots a 3-pointer. We got a 3-on-1. I got guilt all in me. I
Yeah.
told him, take your body. I'm taking you out. Untie your sneakers. You're not playing the rest of the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
had to go at it with the mother and father
Mm-hmm.
for taking their kid off the floor. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the concepts yet.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to understand. You got guys that are running this floor, and he's not passing the ball. He's just going to loft it from the 3-point line. Stephen Curry just invented all that nonsense,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a great shooter. I don't
Right.
take nothing from him. But
Mm-hmm.
you're not good. You're not in that bracket yet.
Right.
yeah. Well, he's not being coached by you though, Tiny.
No, he
His
just
mom
played
and
with me that year.
dad, his mom and dad got to him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's who's coaching. They're coaching from the sidelines. They coaching from that drive to the game.
right.
You
And
know,
that's the problem. That's the problem that I see New York players are going through right now. Everybody thinks that their skill level is way up, but coming from the school that I come from, if you don't know how to disengage when you getting on a ball player who has the ball, and you can't disengage and take that step further down to cut him off, you ain't playing on my team
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
because you don't have the concept of this game.
yeah.
Right.
And that's only one of the concepts you're talking about. There's a
Exactly.
whole bunch of them. But I
Yeah.
always say to you, Tiny, to people, it's like you can bitch and moan about your son not, or your daughter not playing and getting that, but you're never yelling at the social studies teacher.
Never.
You have nothing to say. But
That's
for the
right.
game, you're talking to them. And I don't
Right.
understand why, and this is one of the things I was just thinking about. When I played, like my parents were never at any tournaments. Like you're playing citywide or, Brevoort. Like mom and dad are not with me because we travel on our own in New York, right?
That's right.
The problem now is that mommy and daddy are going to games,
Exactly.
and they're involved in their kids, like watching them play in the community. When it's like, so that's that pressure that's not necessary,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
But you're playing, and it's like my dad and mom. Well, my dad did when I was younger, but my mom didn't see me play until I was in college.
Exactly.
But now, man, mom
Exactly.
mom is sitting on the sidelines with a joint in her hand.
I like
For
that word.
real.
Yeah,
That's the
you're
truth.
right. Yeah.
That's the truth. But like I
and
said,
and, and life has changed as a player, so then it changes for us as coaches. You
sure,
see, and that's the problem that we have to deal with now is how do we manage coaching a player and making them a better player with mom and dad in their ear,
exactly.
and it makes it very difficult, man. And so, how long have you been coaching out there?
Well, I've been coaching since I left Laurenburg, but then I got into the bus industry, and it took me away from coaching because
Mm.
I'm traveling all over the country. I
Mm.
just coming back from Louisiana. I've been on the cruise ships doing excursions for the elderly.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm home now
Mm.
and trying to see where this ball is going to take me because a lot of people are begging for me to coach, and it's hard for me to get into the high school teams' heads. So maybe we're going to start with the young brothers and groom them.
Right. Middle school, something like that. Yeah.
Yes, because I
Yeah,
can't
word
do
of
what I
advice.
want
That
to do.
was a good move.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know. And when I started, like I said, when I came back from school, I had teams all over,
Mm-hmm.
playing, and it was just one thing after another, you know, because the era when I came back home from school, crack started coming out in the street,
Right.
and
Right.
everybody wanted to be these big time dealers,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just went haywire. I lost a lot of kids, death, murder, jail time. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
it just took me down for a minute, but I'm back.
Mm.
All right.
I'm
All right.
back. Believe me.
But a
And
lot
I,
of things that happen in our society that impact the community and what we're good people who are what they're trying to do. There's always these little things that jump in the way. So I think we lost Tiny there.
no,
You
Yeah.
back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's trying
Yeah.
to call in.
Yeah.
Oh.
But make a long story short, Eric, appreciating y'all guys, watching y'all when I was young, and then seeing everybody that was around y'all too. It was crazy because we always looked at it as a camaraderie to move and become that second class of gentlemen because y'all was gentlemen. Y'all never bragged about boy. Y'all played the game. Next game, y'all gone to the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Y'all never
true.
stood around and bragged. Oh, we just busted. No, it was none of that. It was I got y'all. See y'all later. No, next game going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how Gil groomed us underneath y'all. Mr. Lloyd's, I remember playing them in Citywide in '79. And they had Mike Moses and all the guys that played us on St. John's. And we met them in Brandeis. It was a
Mm.
sad sight, man, because I already knew who they were, but they
Right.
didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
And
Right.
me and Dennis Graham was in the backcourt that played with me at Lafayette.
Mm.
We put on a show in Brandeis High School
Wow. Wow.
for the semis and all that. And then Dennis quit. And we was trying to figure out where you going.
Mm.
But him and Gil, I don't think they meshed. You know, he had an ego, Gil had his ego, so Dennis had went off. And in the championship game at the Garden, I never forget Rob Brown, Howie Yarmack, Rich Brunson, Ty Edwards, Derek Hawkins. I mean, we had a bomb team.
That's a
Mm.
crew.
Mm.
Roosevelt Chapman. So I mean, like you coming at us with the we played Mike Porter, Calhoun, John Sally and them at the Garden. We ran
Wow.
them off the floor.
What?
We won citywide in '79. If y'all look up the history, we beat
Mm.
them. Me and Rob Brown, left hand Rob that went to Wingate.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
destroyed them. We destroyed them dudes in the Garden.
Nice.
Well, it's
So when
funny how
people
you're
look back,
mentioning guys, and it was like mostly Brooklyn guys you mentioning
Yeah.
yeah, but
Right.
see, we
on
had
both
the
teams.
right, but the team was split
Yeah.
because the game before that we went against Vern Fleming and Vic Fleming, Big
Mm.
Skip and all them out from Long Island City,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and destroyed them. I mean, it was like they kept asking certain people, like, "Who's this little dude, man?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
dude, this dude is going to work on us. Like, we ain't never see him,
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about me. I was getting at my team in order because I knew what the next game was going to be against Riverside.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Lloyd begged me to come play with him, Eric, after we beat them. But I was like, nah, my sister lived up on 125th Street. I didn't want to get into, you know, the stack of everybody's all Americans and everybody's going to play because he always went for the best of the best, Mr.
Right.
Right.
Lloyd,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
But it
and
was
I just stuck
crazy.
with
Just
Gil.
it's crazy. Just riding uptown just to go to
Yeah,
practice, man. Was
Yeah.
after a
yeah,
while it gets yeah, that's like 117th Street, man. That's a long ass ride, man. You
exactly.
know,
Coming out of Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
so when he asked me to play, I was already with Gil, man. I wasn't going to turn my back on Gil now.
Yeah.
I had the skills. He just
Right.
fine tuned them.
Yeah.
And when he fine tuned them, going back into, what can I say? If I take myself back to Lafayette,
Mm-hmm.
Greg Sorrentino played on the team with us, Italian guy, very, very disciplined. And he taught me, Tiny, you're too small to be driving down that lane, man. You got to learn how to pull up and shoot it off the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Eric, can I shoot that ball off the backboard?
yeah, man. That's right.
From deep.
It's that.
I had to
That's
learn
right.
that.
Yeah,
Can't go down there with the Giants because you get your head knocked off, man.
Yeah.
use that glass, man.
That's
Yeah,
what they
man.
called it.
That's what
Yeah.
Gillis say. Son, use that glass,
Yes,
boy.
sir. And we couldn't make layups with Gil. You can't take an underhand layup.
Right.
Right.
You could not lay the ball up underhand. You take that, you sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has to be overhand. He said that's the only way you're gonna get the foul call.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Overhand. So I
Tiny, you
learned.
said something. You said something that made me. I had a flashback. Right. You were
Okay.
saying about how you were, in allegiance to Gil, so you didn't want to go play, uptown. But a certain somebody, no name mentioned in this room, um, he left the Restoration Flyers with George Martin and went
Yes,
to go
sir.
play uptown and fly all over the United States. But George took him back. So I'm just saying it can happen.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Well. Actually, I wasn't the first one to do that, man. Actually, the first person probably to do that was Albert.
Albert was the first one to walk away
Yeah,
from Gil.
Albert was the first one left, so I wasn't the worst one left. So I,
No, but you
No.
you were the first one that from George
yeah,
Murray.
yeah, that would be true. That would be true.
Okay.
And Gail took Albert back, no problem, man, and
That's
so did
right.
But
With no
George. Yeah,
problem.
why wouldn't they? If you want to come back, we down.
yeah.
I go back into the
But
day.
it's funny. Riverside environment, even the Gauchos, they were always, and no disrespect to the guys uptown or in the Bronx, but they were always looking for talent to represent New York as a whole, not
Right.
Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, or whatever.
Right.
So they were looking to fill, like teams to go. And like I said, no disrespect to the guys uptown, but why is it that it ends up always like the team being heavy Brooklyn team? Every year
It's
it's a
always
heavy
like that.
Brooklyn team. Every
It's
year
always like
Riverside
that.
used to have like, seven guys from Brooklyn and the rest are between the Bronx, Queens, and Manhattan.
Well, they
You
know where
know,
the real ball is played at. You had to have the guys out of Brooklyn because we played defense, man.
that's right. And we could shoot from
We
the
would
outside.
we took pride on playing defense in Brooklyn. You're not
Yeah.
just gonna score just to score. We're gonna play you.
Right.
And that was the difference with all the guys I played with against Uptown when we was in the Rucker Park and all that. They don't play defense.
Yeah.
Everything's for a show. No, we
That's
coming
right.
to take this.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's
Yo.
true. That's true. Because in every position, guards were taught, going back to your days with Brooklyn USA, everybody going
Hmm.
to AHAM, but if you playing against that environment, that you turn your back, somebody's coming to get you.
Oh, for
So
sure.
there's D being played. If you a small forward, you better learn how to rebound. You better learn how to, play D on the perimeter as well. And if you're a big man, if you soft, you in trouble. And and
When it's
and
one
and the
person.
coaches in Brooklyn would make you know that you were soft and you had to change.
Exactly.
So we gained toughness, like you said, to play D, and even down to being taught like strategy of the game, how to play a zone. What is this? Why? Like why am I doing this? What's weak side help? What am I
Right.
doing You know, where's my head on? Why is it my head on swivel? These are like, and it's like, and nothing has to do anything to do with making baskets. It's all understanding where you
That's
are, the
right.
court, and everything. They taught you line, what the lines
That's
mean,
right.
you know, and
I
Gil,
told you
I'm
we
not,
had to learn that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and George, he would stop practices like constantly to teach, man, constantly,
Exactly.
you know, to the point where it's kind of like, damn, let's just run up the court one time. No, he's stopping the play. Less. When
That's
you
right.
double down on that guy in the
Mm-hmm.
baseline, you got to have your foot on the line. You know, you can't let
That's
that,
right.
because you're going to let
That's
that guy
right.
through, you know.
That's right.
And it's like, and but then you
Yeah.
take that
And that
stuff.
was a cardinal sin with us.
Right. That's right. That's right. And then you
Mm-hmm.
take that up to Harlem, Bronx, wherever, and we're just rolling, you know, and they see that. So if they're
Right.
looking for an all-star team of good players, they're always going to come to, well, not now, I don't know about now, but they used to always come to Brooklyn for that level of talent because it pushed them over the
Exactly.
top, you know. And
That's right.
Yeah.
you can't
That's
go,
how Riverside, y'all kept winning like that.
yeah, you can't
Mm-hmm.
go to, you
Yep.
know, out to
Mm-hmm.
the West Coast and not have jump shooters. You can't do that.
Oh
It's
no,
like you can't
no.
do that. How you going to bring a bunch of guys
That's
that
what they
all
do on
take
the
it to
West
the hoop?
Coast.
Right. All you do
Mm-hmm.
is taking it to
Mm-mm.
the hoop. You better
That's
have a
what they
jump
do on
shot.
the West Coast. They
Yeah.
shoot. So right.
You
They
know, and
shoot the ball on the West Coast.
yeah. And it's like, and we were taught by
You
guys that
know, it's
did
a
that. And
different
even
animal
back,
out there.
right, but even back to your days at Lafayette, that y'all played D. Like Lafayette
For
had like
sure.
the crazy zone press. It was crazy. Teams couldn't get the ball past the half
Mm-hmm.
That's
court
right.
line.
Because it was always disguised that we was playing a zone, but we was actually playing a freelance man to man.
Mm.
Just with the prep of us looking like we playing the press, but we was actually playing man to man. And if the ball was in the air, we had guys that played the back line that was quick enough to get that. As soon as that ball was coming, you got to go at it.
Yeah, I
Right.
You
know.
got to
Right.
be
Believe me, I
greedy to
know,
go get it.
man. I know.
I know you know, Eric.
Yeah,
I
I
know
got
you
my
know.
ass first high school game ever, man. We got killed by like 30 by y'all. It's crazy, you know. And but everybody taught that. Everybody was pushing to get you to be a defender. You know,
Right.
even if you're an offensive skilled player and great player offensively, if you ain't playing no D, you might be sitting on the bench.
That's right.
You
But
know,
Right. That's right.
I'll give y'all one to laugh at. When I came to John Jay, Eric, Les, I'm sitting down. The coach is telling us that we're gonna 2-3 zone. We ain't got a man bigger than 6'7".
Mm-hmm.
Division 3. So
Mm-hmm.
what you talking about? We're gonna play a zone. First of all, we faster than most of the teams. We in condition, and you telling us we're gonna play. I said no. This is how this is gonna go. So I got demoted from being the captain
Mm-hmm.
because I challenged them.
Mm-hmm.
My man, we are too small to be waiting and sitting back there waiting off the ball to come off the rebound. Whoever get the ball, bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Why I gotta keep running back down the court to start the play?
Right.
Bring the
Right. Right.
ball up. We small enough and we quick enough to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we went 10-0 that year. We never lost a game in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
They never beat Staten Island in the history of the school. I went ham in that game. And we beat them 5 times that year. So
mm-hmm.
what else you want? You could take the captainship, but if you take me off the floor, we're gonna lose. And I
Mm-hmm.
told the coach that once you sit me down, you ain't got no other guard that can do what I could do, man. And I wasn't bragging. It was me stepping up to let them know, like, I'm the floor general. I don't have to have captainship to go stand and talk to referees. I don't need
Right.
that. They know
Right.
I'm coming with that ball, and we gonna
Facts.
play.
Facts. Facts. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So when he
And it's
demoted
like,
me,
but and your
it set me
experiences,
free.
yeah, but
Yep.
your experiences were not just tied to just, you know, enough to do what you're doing, even though you got demoted. It's like that leadership skill that was taught because you put in the work
For
off the
sure.
court, on the court, in the tournaments. And just to be segueing, you know, off of that for a second, those tournaments that you were playing in, like, was it the same type of, you know, mindset that you had as well? going and playing in Brevard and playing, all over the city?
Man, everywhere I went, I carried that with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a package that came. Like I told you, when I came home, I woke up. I woke up. It was like these guys are not really playing the game. They want to be fancy and play with the ooh ah and all. We ain't got time for that. It's no
Mm-hmm.
time to be doing all that. It's time to put the ball in the basket. That ball go through. The nearest man to you is your man,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
and we'll pick that up at. Make the changes at half court. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna play from baseline to baseline,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what made me a great defender. And up, and then I got a chance to play with Eric and them. So they knew that ball going in. They ain't bringing that ball down nice and easy. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
coming like that. You got to fight me.
Yeah.
And if you put it down wrong, believe me, Les, as the refs is going that way, I'm laying the ball up. They got to
Mm-hmm.
run back down the court.
But you know what happens though, right? After a while, it's kind of like, now you handle it. Like they
Yeah,
don't want
they
to
give it
dribble the
up.
ball no more.
Nope.
Somebody else.
You
Yep.
put that
Yeah,
fear, you put that fear in the dude that to bounce a basketball, man, which is that's
and
crazy when
that
you
was a
think
great
about it,
gift
you
that
know.
you spoke on, especially
Mm-hmm.
Brevoy. When we played Tony Thomas and them in Brevoy that year, Gil put us in that tournament. We was a junior team. We played our senior team.
Mm-hmm.
They had Larry Washington, Ty Lassen, Ty Waiters, all them with Albert and all them. We blew them out. The junior team, we ran them off the floor.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
People didn't believe that we beat them. They had
Wow.
Tony Thomas out of Queens. That I think he went to Springfield. They had they were stacked. That team was stacked with the players that Gil had. We beat them in Brevoort
Hmm.
And
because
that,
he
and
knew what
that's
he had in us.
yeah,
He
and
knew what
that's
he
why
had in
that
us.
and that's why that tournament was like you have to bring your A game all the time. Ain't no fooling around.
Oh no, no, no.
There's no do-overs, no participation trophy. You go out
Mm-mm.
there and it's like, the lights are shining on you. And it's weird because you could be playing in 90-degree weather and
That's
never
right.
think about it. But you get out there in front of those lights, man, all of a sudden, things are
It's a
different,
different
man.
animal. Different
Yeah,
animal.
man. And it's like that's our garden, you know.
That's right. We play for pride. That's the thing about Brooklyn players. We play for pride. We
Yeah.
win. We don't brag and boast like they do now. Oh yeah, you ain't this. We don't.
Mm.
We never did that. We sat down with the same team that we beat, and everybody, if they was drinking a beer or whatever, sat
Yeah.
down, discussed it after the game, and you was
What
good.
maybe the whatever, not the beer, but with the whatever. I'm down with the
The
whatever.
beer and the whatever.
Yes, sir. But I'm just letting
Yeah.
you know that this is how we played, man. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm just blessed to be around the brothers that are still above ground, and
Hmm.
I love all my brothers that passed, and just to sit here with you guys and just dialogue. Cause see,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, man.
game is real.
Yep.
I don't know
And
what they doing with it now, but I'm a different animal when I go out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
And we were talking earlier about, the physical part of the game coming from Brooklyn, man. I know that anytime I got on the court, man, somebody know that they were gonna get touched up. You know
oh for
what I mean?
sure.
Because that's just how I played. You
That's
know,
the way.
and
That's the game. That's how the game is played.
right. And nowadays, man, it's got a little soft, man, where it's like if you blow on somebody, man, it's a foul. That kind of bullshit.
Sure.
But yeah, back in those days, man, we played and we did it respectfully too. Like you
Yeah, we
said,
didn't cry. We
we
didn't
still
cry. We didn't
building.
fight. You ain't
Yeah,
never seen
right.
us fighting each other on no
Mhm.
basketball court
Yeah.
because you got your ass shellacked, excuse the expression,
Hmm.
on the podcast, but you got your behind beat real
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
and now you got an
Yeah,
attitude.
unless it's right though, because that level of toughness was just a natural thing. It was
Exactly.
no plan that Les understands the game that it can have that physicality in it and you can still compete and not be a big deal. That's part of the game. But
Right.
when you start turning and looking for bailouts, whether it be the coach, whether it be assistant coach, or even your teammates or the referees or mom, dad, friends in the stands, People, and it's like you
That's right.
start paying attention to everything else other than the fact that if I had to move my feet, that would have never happened. If I had to just
Right.
pick my head up and
That's
threw the
right.
pass, we would have scored that basket. But now you paying attention to everything
Mm.
else. Oh,
That's
he
right.
touched my arm. I saw you know, to this morning, Caitlin Clark gets knocked down. And the first thing she does
Mm.
is slams her hand down on the ground and looking at the referee. And I'm not taking anything away
Mm.
from her. I
Exactly.
think next year she's going to average like 28 a game. Because our offense is ridiculous. But the
She's that good
complaining has to go. It's got to
for
stop.
sure.
Yeah.
You
Well, you
know,
know who
Yeah.
started the complaining? LeBron James.
no, it happened
Everybody
before
want to
him.
be him.
It happened
I
before
just,
him. It
but I'm
happened
saying,
before him because what happened, and no disrespect to your comment, but guys prior were giving like that headway to complain about things. So I can't put
yeah,
that
that's
on one
true.
person because everybody's doing it. And it's like
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
go
where
ahead,
I'm
I'm
coming
sorry.
from is he was being extra boisterous, so everybody else think that that was part of the game, and it's not. When he came in, he played hard in the first couple of years, and then after that, anytime he get hit, he would complain to the ref, like leave the ref alone, play the game, man.
Yeah, but you also have to understand that who opened the floodgates for him to do that. You see guys like Mark Cuban or the guy
Yeah,
or
well,
that like
you already know. Yeah,
owners getting and complaining about stuff. You can sit back and watch a game from, let's just say, 1979, and you can see not once did anybody go
open their mouth.
beyond the realm of look, I got to put in the work. Now, like I said, everybody's complaining. The players on the
Right,
end of the court, the guys on the end of the bench, they're dancing when the guy makes a basket. They're doing
Yeah.
some
right,
all of this,
right.
and I mean, it's kind of like it's a basket. It's one basket. If you
I got
did that
one
with
for you.
Gil George, Lester Roberts,
Oh, you ain't never get back in the game.
any coach,
You,
I
you ain't
CYO coach, there's
you ain't
no
touching
way
the
in the
floor no
world,
more.
Les, no way in the world, Mr. Williams would have tolerated that.
Oh man.
No way.
You be
You
like,
know?
yo, get your bag and get going home, man. Walk
Yeah.
home.
Exactly,
Bye.
Walk home.
Bye.
because we had an incident like that when I think Mario Eli we was playing in West 4th Street, and we was getting the best of them because Kurt Sumter, Kurt Sumter was putting on the show,
Yeah, yeah.
and Pete Edwards is in the backcourt with me, and I was just a new addition coming to them,
Mm.
and I put a move on Mario Eli on the baseline, and West 4th as tight as it was, and
Right.
I got by him. He had the nerve after I scored to push me, and that
Mm.
caused a ruckus down in West 4th Street.
Wow.
Don't,
Wow.
because you got embarrassed. Come on, you're a pro. You're
Yeah.
supposed to notice. Take that baseline.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
just got joked.
Tony, you was playing with Marty's crew?
Yeah, I played with Marty School.
Yeah.
I was on that team, man. I played there because when you said Pete Edwards and Kurt, yeah, I was on that
Right.
team.
John Hunter,
Trevor
uh,
Green,
Trevor Green, jumping Trevor. What?
yeah.
Her boy flies. You had Al Eford. Al Eford played with us that year. God bless the dead. I mean,
Yeah,
come
may he
on, man.
rest in peace, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, man. I mean, real good team, real good pro team, man. Wayne Mackey, another one.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Wayne's the guy that got me to come play with them.
See,
Yeah.
and Wayne got me. Well, Kurt, we beat them in the beach. And I went out to 40 projects to play with them in the league out there. And we was playing against Vern Fleming and them again. And it was a sad thing because Tommy Minkins, big time Tommy Minkins, was coaching us. We put the show on out in that park. And that was my first and my last game ever going out there.
Okay.
But Kurt went, because Kurt lived out in Queens,
Right.
in Long Island City area. So he put on the show.
The usual.
And I bet, yeah,
Right.
that's it. That's him. And when we got down, we played the playoff game against, that was Sam Bourbon and them. And it was just different. I saw a different light turn on in his body. Because he had 77 at halftime.
Oh, wow.
Kurt was killing.
That's crazy.
I just looked at him like that's Superman right there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you the title Superman because ain't nobody doing that.
Hmm.
Nobody could
But
do
that
what
ain't.
this.
But that ain't. That's not Superman. That's because Superman would have shut it all down and it would have been done and blah blah blah. It was. This was a. Now Kurt was like just. Um.
He was comfortable in his
I
skin,
don't
man.
know if there's a term to describe like
It's hard to describe
how
it.
you score like the way he scored. I don't
Yeah.
know how to describe that. It's just
Yeah.
And he
other than
had
just saying he was kicking their ass, but
Yeah.
there's no like one term like you could say. Actually the term should be you just got Kurt something.
Yo, right.
that's it. That's
Exactly.
what it should have been.
That's
Because I
it.
seen him take hits where guys is hanging on his arms
Yeah.
and he's making the shot and he's looking at them like, that's all you got?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Come
I
on,
was getting
man.
ready to say that, and he don't say nothing to you. It's kind of like just
No.
look at you like,
Like it
Mhm.
was like they was invisible. Like you hitting them and you can hear the slaps and the ref
yeah,
hear it. He don't
Yeah.
complain. He just make the shot, go to the foul line,
yeah.
finish the
Hmm.
play.
And if anything, it's
Hmm.
kind of like you were
Easy.
warned. Somebody will say you were
Yeah,
Yeah.
warned, man. That's Kurt
cause
something.
yes, but see the year that we went against Rod Strickland down there, he came in with Byron, his brother came, and Byron was like, yo, you don't know that little guy right there? So he was like, nah. He said, you gonna have a good game today. So we playing. I went 16 for 16 in the first quarter, first half. And they was like, yo, who's gonna hold him? And he started talking. Pete said, Tiny, let me take him. I said,
Hmm.
not a problem. Pete put that crossover on him. And it was the first time I seen anybody hit a fence that hard. Pete dropped that crossover, bam, bam, and
Yeah.
he hit the gate. They told him to go home, man. They said, yo, you just got drafted by the Knicks and you can't stop him. Pete put the Pete. It was like a thing, a rivalry thing with them, and I
Yeah.
didn't know because he was
Hmm.
trying to play me. He's too big,
Yeah.
and I used to tell
Right.
these guys, and Eric will tell you, I tell guys, you too big. You can't bend down here where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to have a field day with y'all.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Because by the time you stand up, I'm already 3 feet
That's
away
right.
from you.
Right. That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna make you change directions if I got the ball. I'm gonna do it on purpose
and
because
that's
you
right. I was
can't
going to
get
say
back.
you just waiting for him to commit. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, it's all set up.
That's what that's what changed my game, to
Hmm.
so to speak. I'm not bragging on me, but that changed my game because I knew if I shift my body left, you're gonna come to that right side. You
Hmm.
you just open the floor for me
Right. Right. Right.
because you don't have the speed I got. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna leave you standing there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and once you
And it was.
learn how to master that,
Hmm.
and you master it to do whatever you want to do next. For
Right.
me, I'm doing that because I want to get my jump shot off. That's the only thing in my mind set is like, how do I create that space so I can get my jump shot
Exactly.
off? I don't care about nothing else. But if you're a ball handler, you're doing that. You have like 80 other things that you're thinking about. If you
Exactly.
hit somebody with a pass, it's set up for the next play, da 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 da. But
Hmm.
for a jump shooter, that's I just need to make that move to get that shot off, man. And but you got a guy like
That's why I
Pete,
said
man.
I used to watch the floor.
Right? Yeah,
That's why I watch the floor because a lot of guards they say they don't do it, but if you really look at them on the film, they all put their head down. You gotta keep your head up because these guys be open, especially
Yeah.
shooters like Eric back then. You
Hmm.
gotta you gotta get him the ball where he's comfortable,
yeah.
Right.
And
and
it's
a lot
funny
of guys
because
don't have that concept.
yeah.
Yeah.
But a guy like Pete though, you just got to be patient because you might say, "Oh, why didn't you give it to me now?" And Peter be like, "Yo, just no. When I give it to you, like you said, Tiny, I'm giving it to
Hmm.
you when you really need it. I could give
Exactly,
it to you now, but I'm like, but and he's still dribbling, but he's like he's setting everybody up. He ain't just setting up a guy
exactly.
playing D. He's setting up everybody else playing D.
That's right
You
on
know,
that floor.
yeah, and then before you know it, man, he's like, "Damn, this motherfucker went by me again." It's like,
That's right.
dang, man. And I tell you, man, honestly, I'm playing against him, and I prefer playing with him. I'm sorry.
I heard that.
You know, especially
I
when West
heard that.
Fourth Street, man. It's like forget it. As a matter of fact, that's who we got to get on the show, Les. You know, we got to get Pete on
Yeah,
this.
You got
man.
to get Pete.
I
Yeah,
saw him. I told him I was gonna give him a call. He said he was down. When I saw him at Wayne Mackey's, when they renamed it that block, I saw him
yeah.
there a couple of weeks
Okay,
ago. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
Yeah.
seen Pete in a while because he used to work at New York City housing,
Right.
and he used to be around where coming through. When I started driving the buses, I would see him every now and then, but I
Hmm.
haven't got a chance to see him yet because I
Yeah.
know that's going to be a reunion when we sit down and get with each other.
yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Everything's a reunion these days, time, and it's like,
Yes,
yeah,
That's
because
true.
there are so many people that I know for you, and just in talking to you now, like names that you have dropped associated with guys that were, let's just say, graduated probably like 72, seventy
right,
one, and then guys that graduated, high school in 83,
right.
84. They were all in all of our previews. So it's like everybody is part of the family. And
Yep.
there's
Sure.
so many of us, man. It's crazy,
It's
you
it's
know.
it's, it's overwhelming, and give my hat. I take my hat off to you two guys for the honor of getting me out here on this format to tell my story.
Yeah, man. We glad to have you, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, the whole idea is to share everybody's experiences because everybody has a story, and their story is valued because it happened.
But you got to
And
understand this, Eric. A lot of guys were scared to go against me.
Mm,
I
hmm.
come in the park with them guys, and they see it. That's tight. Oh shit! You can see their face turn like, oh man, we got to
Yeah.
chase
Yeah.
this dude all day
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because a lot of guys wasn't in top shape.
Yeah. That's right. That's
And
right.
I'm gonna make you run because even if I don't have the ball, I'm gonna sprint the floor.
man, even
Hmm.
if you in top shape, man, I ain't chasing you, man. And the hell with that, man. Yeah, but that and
Exactly.
that feeling, yeah, but that feeling that has nothing to do with whether I'm capable of doing it. I don't want to do
Right.
it. I
I
came in
hear
this
that.
game. It's like, damn, I got to hold this guy, man. Damn, you know, and
Yeah.
and and that's
A
a
lot
good
of people
thing,
used to
man.
walk in and be like, "Oh hell no," you
Oh yeah,
know,
and we've all experienced that. And I'm pretty sure Les,
like
guys,
me
it's
and
like,
Tony
damn,
Gill.
Les, he's gonna bang me up, man. I know he's gonna get hit,
Yeah,
you
like
know. And
Tony
it's
Gill.
like,
We played against each other in college,
Oh, okay.
and
Hmm.
that's my brother for life, man. Cause we grew up in the USA.
Right. 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 Right.
And when he saw me come out with John Jay, he was like, "Oh shit!" And I said the
Yeah.
same thing because I already knew I grew. See, we was both kind of around the same height, but I
Right.
grew when I came back,
Hmm.
and it was like different animal,
Mm.
different animal, man. Because I already knew what I knew, how to put it into the right perspective on that floor,
Hmm. Hmm.
and seeing as a God, we time conscious, and we see how much we are.
Hmm.
So a lot of guys would be like, well, "Tanya, why you slowing the game down?" You
Hmm.
gotta remember, we have 20, man.
Hmm.
We ain't gotta kill ourselves right now. But if you want to bury them, you want to pick it back up? They be like, yeah, we pick it right back up,
Back up. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
But I would slow the game down on purpose because I know we got them by 20. It's only like 5 minutes left in the game. Like,
yeah,
why,
Hmm.
why I just keep stomping on it? We up.
yeah. And no
Right.
matter and no
Right.
matter what the coach says, no matter what the coach says. I don't care what coach it is. The guys on the court are managing the game. I don't care what anybody
Exactly.
says. And you have to do that. And that comes in your decision making, managing the time, managing your teammates. You know,
Damn
that,
right.
yeah,
You
and
gotta,
plus
like I used
setting
to, now,
yeah, and plus you're setting up the situation
okay,
to let them know that you beat that ass, you know.
that's right.
So for the
Now
most
make y'all laugh. I used to know how many fouls everybody had on the team.
Mm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
used to put that in my head. You got three
Right.
fouls, my man. I can't afford for you to foul out right now.
right,
Right. Right. Right.
You know, so I'm gonna help you out with your D.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay.
That's the wizard of a point guard.
right,
You
Mm.
got to know who's in trouble. Can't lose him because he can score when I
right,
need him to score. So let
Right.
me go up a mile.
Yeah, it's like going to
It
the
was just
supermarket, man. Every game
that's right.
you go with your grocery list,
Hmm.
and that list. And once you get in the store, that list changes all the
That's right.
time, all the time.
Constantly, what you put there, you ain't picking half of that stuff up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, all the time. And it's like, and but to manage those things, people think it's easy, doing that. And I don't care what position you're playing, who you are. You get on that court, all of a sudden you get a list, and you got to do your job, and
That's
you
right.
got to know what your job is. And
And
and and and and, and the hard part is that sometimes you thinking of like the stuff that's not your job. That's where coaches get you back online because they're basically keeping
exactly.
you in line. But you know the game plan,
Right.
you know.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And there are times where big guy. The thing that I used to always love, man, is when to see how a big man interacts with a guard who's in charge when the big man decides to take charge.
That's right.
That's a dynamic that a lot of people, like that. I'd like to see that the big man
Yeah.
is setting the standard, whereas usually the guard is running the show. I love to see a big man take control, man.
That's right. Like
And
I
it's
said, I
great
got
to
a
see how
list of.
you respond to it as a guard.
That's
You know,
right. But I got a list of brothers, man. That every time I sit here and I think about you, Eric, I go all the way back from where I
Hmm.
started from with
Hmm.
playing with Freddie Finch, Cold Cell, Beetle, Richie Gordon, Ice, Carrie Scurry,
Hmm.
uh, Sam Cooke. I mean, God bless him too. You
Right.
know, when I go all the way down the list, man, it's the ball players out of New York City, Brooklyn. Ain't nobody better than Brooklyn, man. Ain't nobody better than Brooklyn. Cause we walked as a family, man. I don't care
Hmm.
who we played when we was playing against each other. It was mutual respect,
right,
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
you know.
And we would go places where people would not come to us. You know,
They ain't coming to Brooklyn.
no,
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
no,
They're not coming to Brooklyn.
no.
That's like when we played up in the Kingdom. Them guys, uh, Master Rob and all them, they're not coming to Brooklyn.
That's right.
Hmm.
The only one that played in Brooklyn was G. He would come and play certain games. Predator and them would come down and play, but the rest of them, they stay uptown. That's
Yeah,
Hmm.
their comfort zone. We play anywhere.
Right. Right. That's right.
And
That's
that's the
right.
difference between Brooklyn and Harlem, Queens, Staten Island. Brooklyn brothers play anywhere. I don't care if the court is wet. We going out there.
yeah.
That's right. That's
And and
right.
and this would be the test. If you, as a Brooklynite, you can go into every borough and name the place we play: Staten Island, Cromwell,
That's right.
Lost
Hmm.
Battalion and IS-8 in
Hmm.
Queens,
That's right.
Hmm.
Webster Projects, Dykeman in the Bronx,
That's right.
Hmm.
145th and Lenox, or the Polo
Yeah.
Grounds in Harlem.
Right.
Those are like specific places, right?
That's
Right.
right.
Now you come to Brooklyn, it's a damn Tilley Park, Fort Greene,
That's right.
Brevoort, St. John's, 40 Park,
That's
Forster
right.
Park, Marine Park. You're like got BRC, Mikio
Everywhere.
Center. You're like,
That's
Hmm.
right.
it's like
We play
everywhere,
everywhere.
man. Yeah. And those places that they're marked
That's right.
as competitive environments. And no, like,
Hmm.
no disrespect to the other boroughs, but you know they can't push back with that much as we push back on them. And I just and I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But you're right, Tiny. Like, we have established in Brooklyn a
For
place
sure.
where guys learn. I don't know what it's like now, but the experience has is what molded you, is what molded Les, molded me, and because we had help at every turn, and every corner there was help.
That's right. But
You
we
know,
had real coaches that knew the game. These
Yeah.
coaches that's coaching teams now don't know the game, man.
Hmm.
These kids come out and play on their sheer ability.
don't get me
Teach them how
started.
to move their feet.
Yeah.
Teach them how they
Exactly.
move their feet.
Move their
Come on,
feet.
man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know the game, but you're not going to give it to them the way it's supposed to be given
Right.
because they could score, they could jump, or whatever. Teach
Hmm.
them the real game so they don't get hurt, man,
Yeah.
in the future.
As
That's
well,
right.
right? Because if you don't play the game right, you're gonna get hurt.
For
You
Hmm.
know,
sure.
yeah. And it's like, and that's why to me it's kind of like I'd rather try to get an offensive foul and give the effort to stand in
You don't
front of
see
that
that no
guy
more, bro.
instead of letting him go and letting him posterize me. I'm
You
Yeah.
sorry.
don't see
I'm
that
willing to
no
give up
more
a
on the
foul.
basketball courts.
Yeah.
Somebody taking an offensive foul. Where? I'm talking about. Let's go guard play. Disengage, beat him to the spot. Now he bang you. It's offensive foul. You don't see that no more, bro.
Mm-mm.
That art
Yeah.
of the game is forbidden.
Yeah.
And we were doing that shit outside.
That's right. On
Yep.
concrete.
Yep.
So
That's
don't
right.
tell me you got mental toughness because you don't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
nice. I can dunk. I can do this. But can you play D?
That's
For
right.
real.
Yeah.
Can you get down in the nitty gritty and stay down in that seat
That's
Yeah.
right.
and move up making your legs cross?
Right.
Because that's a cardinal sin.
Oh man, for sure. For sure.
So when you
Yeah,
talk to me
you see
and I
somebody that
tell,
does that, man. You can get you can twist them up real quick.
that's
You
Yeah.
right.
know.
But I tell the world is, if you can't play defense without crossing your feet, don't even think about trying to check me.
Oh, of course, of
Because you're
course.
going to be sitting on the sidelines, looking at your kneecap, scraping them,
Oh
holding them,
yeah.
rubbing them. Because I'm
Uh,
gonna take it to you.
Yeah.
And I'm 63
And plus
years old
people
right
don't
now.
understand also, and this is the part that's really crazy. The way people play now is kind of like so that there is no contact. And as a guard, you think that that's the case. Put your ass on the court against Joe Dumars. Get your ass on the court against Clyde and see if he's not while they're handling the rock that they're banging you.
That's right.
They're
For
banging you.
sure.
You play
mhm,
against World. What do you think he's got the rock? He's
Come
banging
on,
your
man.
ass because he's like
mhm.
these guy guards in New York are also boulders, and they take
That's
on
right.
like as you're handling the rock, like contact me. Like one thing I can tell you, practice against Earl Fuller. I'm telling you, man, he will bang into you on
Oh,
purpose,
that's
man,
Mr. Toughness right there.
on purpose.
That's
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Toughness.
You know,
Taught me
and
a
it's
lot.
That's
yeah,
a tough
and
Earl
brother.
these guys now
Yeah.
it's about
Earl Fuller taught me a lot.
yeah, but
Mhm.
now it's about trying to
He sent
like
me
it's
a
like you're
lot.
trying to play tag. Nobody's supposed to touch me.
Jeff
So that's how I'm
Thomas.
playing basketball. Whereas before, it's like I'm banging you. I'm moving without the ball. I'm stepping on your foot. I'm doing all kinds of things on the court, man. But
Right.
now everything is just Tinkerbell basketball, you know. And
That's right.
that's not my cup of
Jeff
tea.
Thomas taught me a lot. You
JT.
know,
Yeah.
man, come on. You had a brother that played with Eric at Midwood, left-handed guard.
You mean
Forget his
Eric
name.
Green,
He
right
was
hand Eric Green. He's right-handed.
okay. Well, he was a tough brother too. Taught me
Yeah,
a lot.
man. Eric, he's the
Yeah.
same way, man, because
ET
he's
was tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're attacking you, you know.
So
Yeah.
my thing that I say for the car for this um podcast, I love all my brothers that I had to actually sit, watch, and learn and put the
Mhm.
discipline into myself. Because Eric and them wouldn't let me play if I couldn't get on the floor.
Mhm.
Trust me, they when they was playing for real, they played for real.
Mhm.
And I'm saying that to you, Les. Y'all wasn't half stepping.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you had to have like people always say, well, he ain't that good or he's not this. But you couldn't get on the floor with these people
Right.
that you're
Right.
talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's funny. You're 100% right. But see, it's funny because you also were playing behind like a tactician, man. That's like super cool, man. Because Earl Nesbitt, man, is
Oh
like
man.
he will
Yeah.
dissect you and you won't even know it. It's like
Yeah.
David Copperfield point guardism, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, I had to get him back too in Tillery Park. I had to get him back for what he did to me as a freshman. I had to get him. I had to get him. I love Earl, Vinny Fulano. I love them all, but I had to get him back, man. And when I came out of school and I blossomed, I had to get him back because he took me through pure D hell at Lafayette. Because I
Mm.
was little, I was 5'4".
Right. Right.
When I first went to Lafayette, I was 5'4" less.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm the littlest. I wore a size 6.5, 7 sneaker.
Mhm.
So that's where tiny came in, like little feet.
Right. Right.
They used to call me baby feet at first.
Yeah.
Then girl freshman called me short change. Short change. You can't go down that middle like that with stretching them down there. You're gonna
Mhm.
get yourself hurt.
Yeah. And that's
But
it.
I
And
kept
you'll
coming.
learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned. But I'm saying I kept coming down there. He was like, "You don't get it. You got to go home with bumps and bruises on you because you're not listening.
Yeah.
Stay out of that paint, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, you quick, you fast. Stay out the paint."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when Greg Sorrentino took me to the side and made me start shooting jumpers off the backboard.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and he
Because
had
I was a
all of them.
menace to them.
Yeah, and all of them had that mindset. It was like that level of patience in how
Yeah.
they just dissected you. Even Ron Chisholm, man, it's like you don't say nothing,
Oh
man. I
my
mean,
God.
but
Jesus Christ.
but he's carrying two
Oh,
six shooters,
oh.
you know, and
I
it's
just
like,
talked to Bob Bishop.
Mm.
And those two dudes don't miss, man.
yeah,
They
yeah,
played on the opposite side of the court from
they're
each other,
just
man.
waiting,
That's all they used to do is just stay in the corner.
just
I get the
wait.
ball to them or Earl will get it to them, and they letting that ball go, man. And they don't miss.
And this was before the threes.
Three. That's right.
Right. Right. Right. Right.
And they were standing, and believe me, they were standing beyond the 3 point line. I don't care what nobody says, man. And I mean, it's just a really crazy thing that we're talking
But I'm hoping it.
possibly just Lafayette alone and them two alone, easily each one of them together, maybe another 70 points per player by threes over the course of their season.
Yes.
At least 70 points a
Mm.
person.
Sure.
Because those guys were legitimate 3 point shooters,
Yeah,
you know? And it was
for
just
sure.
scary.
With accuracy, I'm talking about they never miss, man.
That's right,
I used to
man.
hate the shootouts before we have to leave to go out the gym because
Mhm.
they shooting the ball side and the balls are just dropping, chop, 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 and the coaches are sitting there going, "What the hell are they doing? Shooting out against each other
Mhm.
before
Wow.
practice ends." So
Yeah,
Wow.
no
I'm
joke,
just
man.
ecstatic, man. I feel good. I was glad to open up the pod. Eric opened up the podcast to me because I was telling him I got a story, man, where a lot of people don't know.
Yep.
I had to go through channels to get to where my game elevated to.
Right. Right.
You know,
Well, see, the thing is, Tiny
so
man, like
I'm
what
just
you have to do as a person is just let it flow, man, and let it become what it is, and the respect factor that the community has for you, just in
one
seeing how they
person I
respect.
didn't mention on this podcast. There's one person I didn't speak on. Lloyd McClary
I know you're gonna
Mm.
say that. I knew you was gonna
took his
say it.
time with me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I apologize, Lloyd, because I was the only guy that we came up in that era when we was younger. Lloyd
Mhm.
accepted me in to Brooklyn, USA, and I apologize for not
Okay.
even bringing that up.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Lester
it's funny.
Roberts, he
Yeah, it's
loved me to
funny.
death,
His
man.
voice, like his name, Lloyd's name, pops up in some ways that you gotta respect it. I don't care what anybody says,
He
man.
kept me moving. He kept me
Yeah,
right up underneath him, man. That's why I
Mm.
never got a chance to play with Ray Haskins. I
yeah,
stayed with Lloyd.
yeah.
Mm. Mm.
You
And
know.
it's like he's always been a staple of teaching the game to people at all levels
Oh yeah.
back in those days, man. And people need to start really respecting and understanding and honoring that because he's a good man. I've known him for
Yeah.
quite some
Absolutely.
time too, man.
Absolutely.
And
I love that man.
yeah,
Mhm.
and he's too cool too, man.
Yeah,
I
nice
know.
and
Right.
easy.
Yeah,
Never
Yeah.
get upset.
Mhm.
I've never seen him upset. Maybe
Mhm.
one or two calls that we got that were bad, where he went there, but never.
yeah.
His
Mhm.
temperament
And I
was
know you
always easy.
you've played against Lloyd like in them Saturday Sunday mornings at St. John's Rec. I know you was in
Right.
the gym, with Freddie
Yeah,
French and Kurt and me and oh
that's
man.
right. That's right.
Oh,
Come on.
he'll run your ass to death like Tiny too, man. That's the kind of player
Yeah,
Lloyd was, man.
yeah.
Them little guys, man.
Mhm.
We were
Mhm.
just different, man, And like
Yeah,
I said, I miss when I talk about Cole Sell to a lot of people. People be like, "But Cole wasn't that good. Cole was good.
Oh
He should
yeah.
have
Oh.
just he could have stayed where he was at on the bracket because his IQ was very, very high.
Mhm.
But everybody go their own way.
Yeah,
Yep.
things happen.
I just respect the game,
Mm-hmm.
Right. You
and
know.
I respect the brothers that was ahead of me, with me, and the brothers that are coming behind
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
me. But my first forego is the brothers that was ahead of me because I learned a lot from Eric and them. I used to sneak it. I'll tell you, I used to be in LIU gym with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the college team. I'm still in high school. I'm playing with them
Right. Right.
and against them. And like he said,
NCAA
Earl,
violation.
you know that because
NCAA
I didn't even.
violation,
I was.
Les.
That's right. I wasn't even supposed to play in Reese Beach when I was playing in Reese Beach. I was still at Lafayette.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's funny, man. We had
So,
different. There were different rules going on. There was not like the same association
oh
now
yeah,
would be a problem, but back then, guys was playing places, and when you think about it, man, there's no way it should have happened, man. But that's how we rolled back then, man. If you
yes
had
sir.
game, you had game. You
That's
know,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
Yeah,
Appreciate you
man. But
guys.
Tiny, man, it was great having you here, man.
Absolutely.
I as soon as we hooked up, man, I was kind of like, yo, man, we got to get you on the show. Boom, 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 and that's that
I
I
appreciate
agreed
it
with your request as well. So I'm real happy that you came on and
because
sharing your
a lot of
story
people
and
don't know
letting
my
us all
story.
know, huh?
But a lot of people don't know my story. Why I
Yeah.
transferred to Laurenburg because I wasn't going to play. The people don't know all that. I
Mhm.
always held that in, but it was to open up. Like, yo, I moved on, came back, and things just came my way.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate the game of ball
yeah. That's the way it is, man.
because I'm still sharp with it. Love you guys, man.
Right,
All
man.
right, it's
Appreciate
definitely a
y'all.
pleasure.
Yep.
Thanks, Eric,
Listen,
again. You and
mhm.
Les, man. Appreciate it.
Oh no doubt,
I
man.
want
You
to see
got
the
any?
views that come out with the names and the people that I bring
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. You got anything
because I
less?
talk about everybody. Jerry Ice Reynolds, Carey.
Yeah, man. I just want to thank Tiny for coming on. It was a pleasure to see you, brother. And to hear
Likewise,
your
Les.
story, man. So God bless you, man. Hope everything works out well for you. Everything you're doing.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, sir, man. So once again, everybody, man, we're at the end of another great show with our homeboy Tiny Lassen. Listen, brother, it's really a pleasure having you on the show, man. I'm just glad you don't have a ball in your hand and you're not running by me. No shit like that, you know. But it's been a
Nah,
pleasure, man. I'm glad that your health is doing fine. Good luck with the surgery next week. And
sure.
definitely like
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story, bro.
Well, are you gonna see me soon, Eric, when I come down south? So it's no problem.
Oh yeah, man. Come back and check out some of this um Lomberg soup that they got down here, man. But
I
once
got you
again,
on that one.
everybody, we're at the end of another great show. And we'll definitely see you guys at the next one. Take care.
All right.
Peace.